Okay, we're going to go to Troy Bramston now. He's standing by in Sydney to have a look at the nation's newspapers this morning. Good morning to you, Troy. We'll start with The Australian this morning. They had a slightly different take on the car manufacturing story compared to the Fairfax press, didn't they?
That's exactly right. There's a report in The Australian today that the impact of the carbon tax and increased electricity prices will in fact gobble up all the assistance that the government have just handed out to Ford, which is $34 million, of course, and there's speculation that Holden will get about $100 million from the government. Of course, imported cars don't pay the tax. So I think this is a reminder that implementation of the government's climate change policies, the carbon tax, will continue to be very challenging for the government in the year ahead.
The Financial Review homed in on the split in the coalition ranks.
Yeah, that's right. There's a report there that these subsidies are causing a split in Liberal ranks. Jeff Kennett has come out and called it absurd. Liberal MP Mal Washer has called it stupid. And you'd have to say, look, after $12 billion over 10 years in assistance to the car industry, they're still cutting production, they're still cutting jobs, and I think these questions are very valid. But, you know, this is just a reminder again that this is all about the blue-collar vote, and the politics rather than good economic policy, I guess, is guiding these decisions about car makers.
The Advertiser this morning followed up on Channel 7's story on defence scandals continuing ever since the government announced reviews after the sex scandal, the Skype scandal last year.
Yeah, that's right. There's a report there of some previously undisclosed defence documents that have come out with reports of sexual assault, attempted murder, pornography, all sorts of things. There's been a number of inquiries into the Defence Department and defence operations in the previous few years, including the Skype sex scandal, as it was called. This is another headache for Stephen Smith. I'm sure first thing he'd be doing this morning, David, would be ringing up the top brass and asking yet again more questions about how the department is being run.
All the papers are covering the primary vote in New Hampshire, Mitt Romney taking that out. You're looking at the Sydney Morning Herald's coverage of that this morning? That's
right. The Australian also have it on their front page, and the Financial Review. The Republicans are getting a lot of interest in Australian politics. Yesterday, as it looks like the Republicans have chosen Mitt Romney to go against Barack Obama in November. He had a convincing win yesterday, defeating his nearest rival, Ron Paul. The race now goes to South Carolina and Florida, but it looks like Mitt Romney will wrap it up and will go against Obama in November.
And what's been the focus in West Australia?
There's an interesting story there, David, about tennis great Margaret Court. She's facing a protest against gay marriage proponents, against her opposition to gay marriage. She also is a church pastor. They're looking at using the opening of the Margaret Court Arena at the Australian Open next week to issue a protest against her views. You'd have to really question their strategy here. They need to win public support for this. It remains a red-hot political issue, but attacking someone for their views is probably not the right way to go. This issue also won't go away. There's a bill expected to be debated in Parliament this year for supporting gay marriage.
Troy Bramston, thanks very much for your time this morning. We'll speak to you again tomorrow.